Okay, for this video I'm using one of the undressed mahogany neck blanks that we have in stock. These come only 600 millimeters long, which is obviously not enough to get a complete neck with a stacked heel from the one piece. So we sell them as a 600 mil length and then a 300 mil length, which is the piece to make the stacked heel from. I have already cut and dressed the short piece for the stacked heel and the longer piece, which will be for the headstock and the shaft of the neck. I have checked that it is square all round on both pieces, and the thickness that I'm left with is about 24 millimeters. So it's still got lots of material on it. I'm not going to reduce the thickness anymore. We'll make the neck at this thickness, and then we can later on remove the material that we don't need. This makes the glue joints a little easier to manage, and there's no harm having the excess wood, particularly when it comes to making your stacked heel, depending on the depth of your guitar. So step one is to measure it out for the scarf joint. I like to come along 190 mils. As I said, this is going to depend on your choice of headstock. So we have a range of headstock templates. Your typical acoustic guitar, steel string or nylon string, is going to be somewhere around the 180 mark. So perhaps a 190 or even 200 millimeter section for the headstock is going to be sufficient. As I said earlier, it's plenty wide enough to accommodate the thickness of my headstock. If I was making a classical guitar with a slotted headstock that might be a little wider, that one can also be accommodated. I've got about 4 millimeters either side to spare there. So this headstock, which is quite wide for an acoustic, is 80 millimeters. So as I said, 85, 90 millimeters of width is plenty. So I have marked the length of the headstock at 190. I'm going to run a square line both sides, and then, as this is going to be for a steel string guitar, we're going to make the headstock angle 15 degrees. Whereas if I was making a nylon string guitar, or indeed a steel string that had a slotted headstock, then I'm going to only use a 12-degree headstock angle. That is because the strings run down into the string slot below the top surface, and so you don't need as much angle. In this case, we're going 15. I set 15 on my protractor, line it with my line, and mark off the 15-degree angle of the scarf joint. I'll just quickly run a square line there, and a square line there, and we now have this 15-degree line, which is the cut angle. We now need to cut this piece off. We'll take the piece that comes off the end there, we'll flip it upside down and glue it on the back, and then we have our headstock. Let's go do that.